Okay, and
Yeah.
we are live. Welcome in, welcome in. We're going Best Ball Bros, episode 7. Um, I feel like we gotta get these ones in last minute here. We got like 10 days until the season starts, or 10 or 11.
Mhm.
So I mean, we're getting pretty dang close here.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, very excited. As I'm sure you are, Dan. I don't know. I mean, I guess we can just jump into it. I'll get this started, but we can, start the stream by talking about. I don't know. Is there a player you're most excited to see? Like maybe it's like a rookie.
I mean, I really want to talk about the Brian Robinson getting traded to San Francisco because that definitely has big implications for the Washington backfield. Specifically, Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt is a player that a lot of people are excited about right now. He's definitely been getting a lot of hype. It's just been like pretty much just for like the past few weeks. It's just been like building and building on him. And then it culminated in this trade, which wasn't even that big of a surprise at this point because it just seemed like we saw reports that the Commanders were shopping Brian Robinson, and then I think they even sat him out of like a preseason game just because they didn't want to risk him getting hurt since they were presumably in those trade negotiations, and didn't want anything to derail that. So yeah, I mean, it just seemed like it was something that was going to happen. We didn't know he was going to San Francisco. Kind of a curious landing spot. I mean, it makes sense because, as usual, the 49ers always have a lot of injuries. And so he could certainly be a solid backup to Christian McCaffrey. Um, but yeah, I think this Washington backfield is very interesting now. We were also talking about Chris Rodriguez before the stream started. Could he be kind of like the sleeper now? Because I don't even think Ja'Cory Krosky merits a sleeper anymore. But he definitely was a sleeper at one time in Dynasty. I mean, he was definitely a sleeper you and I both liked. I mean, I had 6 shares of him in Dynasty at one point out of, I think I'm in like 14 Dynasty leagues right now. So I was drafting him in like, damn near half my leagues. I ended up trading away a couple shares right before the hype really started. So that was unfortunate, but I still have 4 shares of him left. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this Washington backfield now?
Yeah, I mean, playing full PPR or an underdog, I love Austin Eckler. Actually, just like any full PPR thing, I love Austin Eckler. He's like basically going undrafted in like your like
Yeah,
your redraft leagues now. I'm not expecting like that high of a ceiling, but just of
yeah,
like a classic desperation flex.
right.
And he could see some more work, right, with like Chris Rodriguez, JCM, seventh round rookie. But obviously, all the steam is on Bill. Krosky Merritt. So, as he likes to go by. So, like obviously, that's the high upside play there. It's no secret anymore.
Yeah.
Um, we don't have a much of a sample of him. Running. I don't know. It must be only a handful of carries, like maybe like 12, 13 preseason carries. So like we just got to go off reports. He's instilled enough confidence in them to get rid of Brian Robinson. It also sounded like, based off the reports from that beat writer that wrote the original article about why B Rob might be that sneaky guy leaving. I think you might have actually sent that to me, Dan.
Mhm.
That beat reporter said that there was something that happened last season, basically. So, kind of what it sounded like is JCM being there, instilling some confidence in them, just like allowed them to just kind of like move on from whatever happened last year. We don't exactly know what it is. So, yeah, it's hard to know then with that information. Like, was JCM just, was it more like they just wanted to move on from B Rob, or was JCM too good to just like sit on the bench kind of thing? It could be a little bit combination of both. Um,
Yeah, I think it was really a matter of I think they saw what they had in JCM and maybe even like Chris Rodriguez to a degree. I mean, we've always thought he's been kind of underrated and pretty solid running back. He's always been efficient. I think he has like a 4.9 yards per carry career average. In what like 2 seasons or whatever. Limited sample, but still, I mean, he's a guy that runs hard and he's looked good. He was a guy I liked, as a sleeper when he was like coming out a couple years ago as a rookie, like in my dynasty leagues and that kind of thing. So he might be getting an opportunity as well. But I think they just looked at what they had and realized like Brian Robinson is making significantly more money than any of these other guys, but yet, I think they're just observing like is he really any better? Like, I think they realized that JCM and Chris Rodriguez, and then, yeah, even throw Austin Eckler in there, were pretty much like just as good as Brian Robinson, but costing a lot less. So I think it was kind of a financial move. But they wouldn't have done it, I don't think,
Yeah.
unless JCM was really impressing them.
Yeah, surely helps them out financially, but like 3 million in season, they wouldn't even get to clear all that 3 million as well that he was making. Like it would, maybe be like half that with a cap hit. I don't think that's
Yeah.
enough to like actually like. I mean, it might open up some kind of move to put some depth piece on there,
Yeah.
veteran minimum, but it's not enough. Like no team would cut a guy over 3 million unless they just like
But they
actually
did.
want
But
to
yeah,
get rid of him.
but yeah, they didn't cut him though. They
Yeah,
traded him. So
exactly.
you
Yeah.
know, think of it like a dynasty trade. Like sometimes I make a trade not because I think a player's bad or whatever, but just like I want to clear a roster spot. So if they don't trade away Brian Robinson, then maybe they need to like cut Chris Rodriguez, who maybe they're thinking is like just as good as Brian Robinson, but a lot cheaper. So it kind of reminds me of a dynasty trade of like, okay, let me trade this player who I might actually get something for, even if it's just like a late round pick. Let me bank that, open up a roster spot, and then now I can, now maybe I was one player over the roster limit. Now I don't need to cut Chris Rodriguez from my dynasty roster. I can keep him, and I have this extra late round pick in the bank. So that's kind of what I think of.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it sounds like it. The Niners were, I mean, such like an obvious landing spot, but like the least obvious at the same time. I mean, the kind of like, it's weird how it's on both ends of the spectrum for me because they have a lot of running backs there. They're just all hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one of them.
Yeah.
Actually, Garendo after the trade hurt again, his shoulder. So I mean, he
Wow.
cannot stay healthy. I actually was. He's been more hurt than I even realized. Basically, there's like a long list in the past year that sounds like it goes to like 7 or 8 injuries. I mean, he might be the most like injury prone player in the NFL, like actually, in the past,
Hey, I mean,
year.
Marshawn Lloyd and Condre Miller
No,
have something might have something to say about
he's
that, but I hear
outdoing Condre. But yeah, him and Marshawn Lloyd right now are like my 101 and 102 as most injured players. So yeah, I mean,
yeah.
it totally makes sense. You know what you're getting, Brian Robinson, just the between the tackles kind of grinder, can get the
Yeah.
job done for some big yards. Obviously,
Do you think he has any meaningful role when CMC is healthy, or is he just like a pure backup handcuff?
I mean, as much as just like any like true handcuff is like I wouldn't expect anything really more than what Garendo would have done anyways.
Yeah, so I mean, you're not
7
expecting Brian Robinson to get like 10 touches a game with a healthy
no.
CMC, are you? Okay,
No,
yeah.
I mean, I could
Neither
see
am
him
I,
getting
but
a
just wanted
few
to see.
touches a game, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
five maybe something like that, 3 to 5.
yeah. I mean, he doesn't have like the pass catching skill set to be stealing stuff. I mean, they're not going to take CMC out of the goal line. He's always one of the best, red zone and goal line ball carriers. Also, obviously, a threat in the receiving game near there, which they like to use as well. So I don't expect much of a bump, but it's pretty good landing spot if you own Brian Robinson in Dynasty though.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any doubt about that.
And if Isaac Garendo and as well as Jordan James, who's a rookie that we both kind of like, he's also injured right now and is going to miss a handful of weeks, I believe. I think I want to say a finger injury. But if Jordan James and Isaac Garendo are both healthy, do you think Brian Robinson is like the number 2 in that backfield, or do you think it's kind of up in the air, or do you think
I
it's
mean,
still Garendo?
it's not in the air at all, or to anyone's opinion. Kyle Shanahan said they traded for him. Direct quote: "He's their number 2 guy." So
Oh,
that's out of
okay.
his mouth.
Interesting.
So, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't really sound like
No.
it's
Much of a debate.
much of a debate. Yeah, so
Okay.
maybe he likes the reliability of health, or
Yeah.
he's just saying that because they traded for him. Who knows?
What are you doing with Jordan James in Dynasty? Because he's another guy that we've liked, that we each have a few shares of. I mean, I guess when everyone's healthy, he's now like 4th on the depth chart. I mean, does he definitely make the team? Do they put him on the practice squad? Does he get, snatched up by another team before, reaching the practice squad on the Niners? Like, I mean, what are you doing with Jordan James in Dynasty? Is he droppable at this point?
I got no clue. I'm not dropping him at this point. I mean,
Yeah.
Garendo, again, re-injured, so
Or maybe he's number 3.
I doubt there's anything
no.
really on your waiver wire that's any better. You can pick up Sky Moore or something. So, oh, by the way, we are just in this draft here. Just want to let you know. I had to go over Firefox. But yeah, it's really hard to know with Jordan James. I can see him, yeah, I mean, maybe he gets cut. It would seem weird that he would get cut. But obviously, again, it kind of depends on Garendo's health. do they like bring four running backs in and then make one a healthy scratch or inactive? So I don't really know. I'm gonna let the Niners figure that one out for me, and then just go based off that. I mean, I liked him as a prospect regardless of the draft capital and landing spot. So I mean,
Right.
I was hoping he really go somewhere else originally, where he really had a chance to win the job, kind of in a Bill or one of these other running backs, recent memory that have done that.
Blue. Yeah. Tyron
So
Tracy last year.
yeah, kind of more of that ambiguous backfield, but I'm just willing to see what happens. Again, if there was something on the waiver wire and he was my worst player, as of
Yeah.
right now I wouldn't call him the worst player on my roster, but again, it's pretty quickly pretty murky. I mean, maybe him getting cut is the best scenario. I'm not sure.
Yeah, maybe if he lands somewhere better, then all of a sudden the outlook seems a little better for him. In one dynasty league, I'm like, there's one team where I'm like one player over the limit, and I'm trying to think, okay, who are my most droppable players here? It's between Jordan James and Darren Waller. So I guess I'll lean Waller. It's just a 0.5 tight end premium. Any thoughts on that?
Let's figure that one out after we pick here
Yeah,
at
fair
111.
enough.
What do we like here? We got like Puka, Almond Ra, Brian Thomas, London. Although London's pretty down there.
Yeah, probably a receiver. Want to go Brian Thomas?
Yeah, let's do it.
Puka? I don't know. I mean,
Well,
it's
actually,
tough.
what do you want to do for ADP? I mean, you want to get Puka and Brian Thomas or
Try and
Amon
get
Ra?
Puka. Get Puka.
Okay,
Try and get Puka.
let's get
I'm
Puka.
not that worried about the Stafford thing. God, I mean, it's so tough, picking between these receivers. I mean, even like Drake London seems like just as good as Puka and St. Brown and Brian Thomas there. So I got to really start, shifting into redraft mode fully and start thinking about splitting these hairs and how am I going to break these ties? Because, yeah, I mean, of course, yeah, we were talking before this year about my home league. And we just determined the Derby order for picking our draft spots.
Oh, well,
So
do you want to
Oh,
go
we're up
Amon
again.
Ra
Okay.
or a chain or there's Amon Ra in there?
I'm thinking St. Brown sounds pretty
Yeah,
good to me.
good with that.
Yeah, I mean, I love a chain. He's a little riskier now with the injury he's dealing with. Makes me a little nervous. So still willing to draft a chain, but I mean, St. Brown is just so rock solid, so
Yeah.
consistent year over year. He just always produces elite numbers on the season. Rarely misses games. I don't think he should be taken for granted.
Yeah. I mean, I was really planning on taking a chain at the 1-2 turn in redraft. I mean, again, there hasn't been any setbacks. I saw a notification about, but a guy where right now you might see him in redraft leagues become a pretty good value if you're willing to take the risk. Even if it feels a little CMC like last year. But unfortunately, I don't. As of right now, I'm not picking in the range where you can take advantage of that. I'm on the 1-2 turn in both the draft leagues I'm currently doing. So,
Mhm.
uh, am I going to draft from there? That gets a little murky right now. I don't know if you have any thoughts on the 1-2 turn in redraft right now.
Just in terms of like my general strategy there.
Yeah, if you were there in a full PPR, half PPR, whatever, you got any thoughts on how you would play that?
I don't know, because like I feel like you're asking about like home leagues, right?
Yeah.
Like what I'm preparing to do in like a home league type of setting. I mean, I do feel like underdog's a lot different than that, and most of my draft experience, in terms of redraft, including like best ball and that, has been best ball drafts like underdog and draft kings and what we've been doing on the stream. So I really haven't done many mock drafts from just like a pure home league redraft type of perspective. So I'm gonna have to do more of those to really get a feel for what are the players typically there, and specifically with like ESPN ADP, because that's what my home league plays on, is ESPN. So I don't feel like fully qualified to answer that yet. I did do one. It's a free league, but it's also but still a real league, not a mock draft. I did a real draft, redraft, recently, and it was for a 16 team league. So again, I guess that's different from the typical 12 league. So yeah, I really don't feel like I have the experience yet to fully comment on that. I mean, what are your thoughts?
As of right now, I think that you can't go two receivers, even though the receivers are amazing there.
Yeah.
They're just amazing throughout the entire draft. I think it's a mistake to go to the double receiver, even if they're great picks. I think you got to come out with at least one running back at the 1-2 turn, preferably almost potentially two. If whatever the board falling looks like you can get two, like don't think CMC is going there unfortunately anymore. That would have been one of the best picks I think you could make at the 1-2 turn. Anyone can get hurt, so I am praying he would fall to me in the turns there. We're on the clock, by the way, here. We should take care of this first. Marv is tumbling down the boards, and then Kittle, Adams, Tet.
You want to go for the upside of Tet here?
Yeah, I'm down. I think I've been noticing, because I've done a couple drafts, that Hayden and Josh Norris there. I've been they make we're gonna be up again here. Let's take care of this pick here first. There's Marv, there's Adams.
Yeah, and I chose Tet over like a Devontae Adams because I figured like just give me the upside because we already have such safe, secure things in Puka and St. Brown that I feel like let's swing for that rookie upside.
Yeah, no, for sure. What are you thinking here? I mean, there's Worthy, Cook, Pickens.
I mean, James Cook sounds pretty good if you just want to get a running back. But if you want to keep hammering receiver, I love Worthy. I wouldn't argue with that.
Let's go crazy. Let's go Worthy.
Okay.
Let's do it. Let's go just like
Cruise era running back.
Classic underdog. Let's just take out the receivers and let's just like draft 6 of them. Let's go ahead and hammer some running backs. There's a lot of good sleepy running backs that we'll probably be talking about here. But
yeah, and also I misspoke. I just remembered that I actually helped my brother with a draft the other day. It was a 12-team league. We picked at 3. So I guess I don't have experience picking at the turn yet, picking at like the end of the first round. But I'm with you because like what triggered my memory is what you said about you don't think it's necessarily a bad idea coming away with 2 running backs. That's exactly what we did picking from the 3 spot. We went with Jahmyr Gibbs at pick 3, and then we took Chase Brown at the what would that be, the 210. So yeah, that was our thought, is that receiver's really deep and let's just get like 2 stud running backs and then we can start like hammering receiver after that pretty much.
Yeah, the receivers are just like constantly the best pick down the board from what I've seen. There's some good running backs too. Again, like it sucks that Travion Henderson was kind of just like one of the most obvious like late round and round 6 target, and he's like literally the most hyped running back there is. So it's just like, no, you can't really like let him fall. His ADP is going to be skyrocketing everywhere, so that really sucks. You can't really rely on that.
Yeah, and we ended up taking him in the 4th round, late 4th round. It just seemed like we just couldn't pass up on him. And then we were basically like set at running back. We took Lamar Jackson in the early 3rd as well. Yeah. And then, we started out basically with 3 stud running backs, at least potential stud in Travion Henderson, stud QB, Lamar Jackson. And then, we were just like hammering wide receivers after that. And we still got a ton of awesome receivers. I mean, we got J-Mo, Devonta Smith. We got Ibuka. We were loaded at receiver still, even though we faded the position.
Yeah, if you don't go receiver early, like you need to hammer Ibuka, Golden, Hunter, Tet, just those guys, in my opinion. You come out with as much of them as you can. And if you burn a lot of picks, there's like Jaden Reed for free. You can just throw him in there week 1 and just hope for the best. Stuff like that. Debo Samuel, Diggs, they're going late, so.
Yeah, and we got Josh Downs real late. We got Ricky Pearsall fairly late. So, and we're still able to get a good tight end mix in there, Tyler Warren. So, the draft turned out awesome. So, I'm sure it'd be a little bit of a different experience picking from like the 12th spot or 11th spot or something like that. But I think a lot of the same concepts apply. That either way, receivers pretty deep this year.
Yeah, so we're going to be on the clock here in a moment. What do you think? Do you want to come away with a receiver, running back, 2 running backs here? We're on the...
do we just lean into like Devonta Smith or Travis Hunter and then we're like done at receiver, or do we finally take a running back? Would it be crazy not to take a running back here?
Let's click Hunter. Let's click Hunter. Let's go crazy, and then we'll take whatever running back falls to us. They can't all go.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I like that. I
we'll kind of go with like such a fun receiver room.
Yeah, so we'll kind of get like our poor man's hero running back with the next pick, and then just like throw in a bunch of handcuffs and role players, pass catching running backs.
What
you know,
order do
upside.
you want here? Probably Harvey first. Although we need a workhorse. What do you think here?
I got Kamara. Why Kamara?
Sure, let's click him.
Yeah, I think Kamara or Connor would make more
probably
sense.
Give us to a better start, right?
Yeah, I feel like we need that floor since we've just faded running back so hard here.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah. But man, I mean, this is an exciting start. I mean, holy crap! Puka, St. Brown, Tet, Worthy, Travis Hunter, Kamara. Like, I'm loving it.
Yeah, I mean, some of the we're kind of just drafting them at ADP. You know, I guess we got a little lucky with Amon-Ra, but like,
yeah,
it's kind of crazy how that's a possible start there through the first 5 rounds. You get all those, just amazing receivers.
I mean, you got 2 bona fide studs and Puka and St. Brown. You have 2 high upside, the 2 best rookie receivers in the class, and Tet and Hunter. And then you sort of have this nice in between of this like young, fast, explosive year 2 breakout candidate and Worthy, who could easily hit the ground running, especially if Rice is suspended another number of games. So, man, I just love this wide receiver core. Like, I mean, I think that's the best wide receiver core I can ever remember us getting on an underdog.
Yeah, no, 100%. We still, again, got Kamara, who we can just kind of pencil in there. We're going to have to, probably just take literally one more receiver. We probably should just wait till it's an ultra value. And maybe it's going to be part of a stack. What I like about taking Hunter, by the way, instead of Smitty, again, I love Smitty, but, we didn't have Hurts. It's not that really matters, but it does really open up, Brenton Strange, one of the running backs, kind of like playing through that Jacksonville offense, because we're going to really need to start to stack, quarterbacks down the board now that we don't.
Yeah, that's the downside of taking Devonta Smith there if you don't own Hurts, because then you can't get that stack. Whereas if you take Travis Hunter, now you can target Trevor Lawrence later, and then potentially also a Brenton Strange, a De'Ami Brown, Bayshell Tootin. I mean, all those running backs. I mean, even ETN and Bigsby. I mean, there's so many stacking options. So I think that was 100% the right call.
Yeah, it just feels like we could easily find ourselves in a situation to get a Trevor Lawrence. I mean, obviously we can get Bryce Young. I think he's a pretty dang good pick right now because he's been at the bottom of all those quarterbacks all year. So try to play that Panther stack out as much as possible.
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, who's a guy I'm just planning down the board that I actually like more than I would assume is Tracy. Not because I don't think Scott will take the job, but just because he's kind of one of those running backs that can really get you to a hot start.
100%. Yeah.
I watched one of the preseason games. Like, Russell Wilson just had no interest throwing the ball downfield. Maybe that's a sign to come. And Tracy was getting a ton of touches. Again, I don't feel very confident he'll keep the job, but we can draft around that.
Oh, I think if Tracy falls to a decent value or whatever, even just at ADP, I think he would fit this team very well.
Yeah, I was really hoping Montgomery would go there. Doubted he would. But we could. Oh, I mean, Aaron Jones would be good. I know that Mason. Okay, let's just click Aaron Jones here.
Over Jordan Mason?
Yeah. I'm clicking him over Jordan Mason. I know that I really like Jordan Mason, but one thing that is a little wild to me is that Aaron Jones is still the starting. He's still the starting running back, and he gets all the receiving work. So it's we're back up.
Yeah.
No, Tracy went.
See, maybe we should have taken Tracy, and then just whichever Vikings running back fell to us. Maybe that was the move. Now we're not going to want to
with Mahomes or Hawkinson. We just have a couple seconds here.
Go to Mahomes.
Okay, we'll go with Mahomes here.
Go Hawk.
Oh shoot! Ah, dang it.
Okay. I was afraid to say it, but I mean, either way, I'm fine with it. I mean, yeah, it gives us a stack with Worthy, so I definitely don't hate it.
Yeah, I haven't clicked any Mahomes, but I just felt like it kind of just made sense. I don't know why. It just I guess we have a lot of quarterback stacking options down low, but I when it's kind of between the quarterback and the tight end in that range. It's because I clicked quite a few Hawks recently. I actually prefer going the quarterback because there's just so many dang tight ends I like.
Okay. Tight end is also really deep this year. That was another thing.
Yeah.
Because in the draft that I helped my brother with recently that I mentioned, I mean, Bowers and McBride really tumbled in that draft.
Yeah.
They didn't get taken until the mid to late third round, which we couldn't believe. So it was tough passing on him, but it just seemed to make sense with how deep tight end was, and we just prioritized getting an elite quarterback over an elite tight end, especially with it only being 4 points per passing touchdown. It really made us want to get those elite rushing quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson.
For sure, yeah. Mahomes here on this pick. Yeah, I mean, it's so weird. It feels so gross. I don't want to collect a lot of Mahomes, but we do have like Worthy, and it does feel like at the same time we're in that awkward. This is a really awkward spot of the draft. I feel like we can't take any receivers because of our build. It kind of just felt like, okay, let's see if we can catch fire here with Mahomes. If he looks anything like he has in the past, other than these last 2 seasons, I mean, like, that is an amazing pick. So,
yeah, the only thing I don't like about it is it limits our options to take those like stacks later with like whether it's Jared Goff or Bryce Young, Trevor Lawrence. Now it's like, oh, we can't take it now because we took Mahomes with an early pick, so now we can only take 2 quarterbacks. I mean, is that what you're thinking, or could this still be a 3 quarterback build?
I think it'd still be a 3 quarterback build, and the reason why is because the running back options weren't good there anyways. Oh, I know we could have taken a tight end,
well,
but again,
if I could go back in time, I think with those last 2 picks, I think I would have taken Tracy first, and then whichever Viking running back fell to us. And if we got sniped on both Viking running backs, then I would have pivoted to Hawkinson. So if I could go back in time, that's what I would do. But I don't hate what we did either.
I see. Yeah, Tracy was down a few picks, but we're up. Tucker Kraft, I'll at least throw him in the queue.
Yeah, I like Kraft. I like. I mean, ETN's not bad just for building out our running back room. I think Uncle Kraft get a tight end.
I'm leaning Kraft. Yeah. I mean, I was reading a report. Maybe he stays. Okay, we got to prepare for this one actually. But
yeah, let's prepare for the next one.
Man,
what about JCM? Is JCM crazy to think about soon?
I mean, we'd have to take him here, or we'd never get him.
Want to take JCM? I think he fits this team pretty well.
Sure, we can take him. I mean, we were going to talk about him earlier. I have no idea where to take him, so I guess let's just take him. Otherwise, we're not going to get him.
I mean, he's probably a starting running back. He's a rookie with tons of upside. I mean, we both really like him as a player. I know he's a 7th round pick in the NFL draft, but like we still think he's pretty darn good. I mean, it was a really deep running back class, and sometimes the NFL just misses on realizing that this was a good player and deserved to go before the 7th round, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, it's still only like a 10th round pick, so it's not like anything crazy. And also when I'm looking at the running back board, okay, if I know Joe Mixon's playing, like obviously he's like my favorite guy here, but there's been no news on him. I've also heard some like around Twitter, there's a bunch of people saying like they're like, oh, I can't, share, but my source is saying like this is really bad with Joe Mixon, and it's been like, I don't know, like somewhat credible people, but you can't know for sure. So like, I don't know what's going on with Mixon. Right now, he feels very sketchy, to say the least.
I mean, to me, Joe Mixon kind of feels like Christian McCaffrey last year, only we're actually able to see it coming rather than it just being like sprung on us like week 1 that, oh yeah, by the way, CMC is not going to play week 1, and then it turns into this longer thing. I feel like it could be that kind of season for Joe Mixon, but only we're seeing it coming this time.
That's pretty much what it's sounding like. We just have no information. So, like, no real information of what it is. So it's hard to know, but yeah, exactly. It's probably want to be more on the safe side unless you're getting a really, really good value.
Yeah. So, I mean, Tank Bigsby is a guy that stands out here as well as Bayshell Tootin. I mean, I just love getting pieces of the Jags backfield. I mean, Jared Goff, we could get the stack with. Jordan Love, we could get a stack with Tucker Kraft. Trevor Lawrence, we could get a stack with Travis Hunter. So a lot of stacking options. Bryce Young as well, further down the board.
Yeah, I mean, what we could maybe do here, I guess we could see if any of these guys get into a position. Oh, they all are. Because I was going to say we could try to play Young down, but again, we might just miss out on that. It might not follow the board, so I guess we might want to...
I kind of feel like we keep hammering running back because like we have so many different stacking options at quarterback that I kind of don't care which ones I get. So if there is still some running backs left that I'm excited about that have some roles or some big upside or whatever I'm looking for, I feel like let's secure those and then let's see what QBs fall to us. Give us the stacking options.
We're on the clock. What running back excites you then?
I'd say either Ray Davis or Dylan Sampson. Actually, Sampson, I
Let's go
feel like it's
Samson.
perfect for our team
Yeah.
because he could. I mean, with who knows if like Juck isn't even going to play this year. I mean, he probably will, but
Yeah, they're both handcuffs, but one's going to be actually play week 1.
exactly.
So
I mean, like, could Sampson get 10 to 15 touches week 1? I don't know if it's probable, but I feel like it's in the range of outcomes. I
he
think
can
it'll
at
be
least,
him and Ford will probably like split touches to some degree, and
yeah.
I think Sampson could certainly beat him out in pretty short order. And maybe maybe he's like
Oh,
the
we're up.
RB1 by week 2 or 3.
We are up. Do you like one of these quarterbacks? I was just clicking blue because he's going to be ready to go potentially for week 1. Ooh,
Want
Goff.
to do blue?
Wait, hold on. Let's
Do
go Goff.
blue?
Let's go Goff.
Oh,
I
okay.
did it last second because I just saw all of these quarterbacks just got rinsed off the board.
I was gonna say it did suddenly look like there were fewer quarterbacks, so
Yeah.
good call on that. I think that was the right thing to do.
Yeah, it was big value, so let's just take it. We could also maybe try to get Tesla later.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun. I mean, again, another preseason game, another touchdown for Isaac Tesla. So I mean,
yeah.
he's just been awesome.
Actually,
I'm definitely excited about him.
There's gonna be a big issue with that. We probably shouldn't do it because we're only gonna want to go 6. We're not even gonna have like enough receivers for week 8, and then all of a sudden, I mean, we could have like 0 receivers for week 8. Like, there could be this weird stretch.
Oh,
So
I see.
we probably should just take a rookie
Non-bye week,
non
non-week 8 bye week receiver. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think like bye weeks are that important, but again, we have a quarterback attached to it. We might end up getting more running backs and tight ends attached to it. I mean, that could be like just a abysmal week.
Yeah.
So
okay, maybe it's at least a tiebreaker. I mean, we'll see. I mean, maybe if Tesla falls to a value, or I don't know if he's like always going in the last round if he goes at all. But
no, yeah, he's coming up the board. What is that, round
okay.
15 or something like that?
Okay.
One thing I was thinking, if we go 3 quarterbacks though, we can go for like a Slayton as our 6, who I don't know if you remember, he was actually a really good redraft play when Neighbors was out last year.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, he had like a huge touchdown called back in one of the games, so it doesn't look like he did as good.
Yeah, and I heard that he's. I think there was a report saying that he and Russell Wilson were developing a nice rapport, and I feel like he's kind of a deep threat, and Russell Wilson traditionally likes to throw it deep.
Yeah, I mean it's a match made in heaven if Russ is putting the moon balls up still.
Yeah.
They keep keeping Slayton around and re-signing him. So,
yeah.
If Neighbors gets hurt, like he seriously is a really good pick. I actually heard a lot of people. I kind of thought I was crazy this offseason. He's been one of my favorite random round 24 dynasty guys. I was messing with Matt about sniping him from me, in round 24, but. He's kind of one of the best things there because he has a little bit of standalone desperation flex play.
Sure. Yeah.
You're never gonna really expect to start him, but he could catch fire. However, when Neighbors is out, I was playing him in a 10-team really shallow league when Neighbors was out, and I had good other options, and he ended up being the right play. One of the 2 weeks because again, as mentioned,
kind of like Mike Gesicki when T. Higgins is hurt. You just know to start him. So I'm with you there. And heck, maybe he even has a little more value and production than usual this season because if he happens to, if that report about him developing the nice rapport with Russell Wilson ends up being true. So yeah, I definitely like Slayton.
We are up. See anything you like there, or should we go to tight end and click Strange or Henry or something like that?
I'm going with Strange. Okay.
Click Strange.
I'd say just get the stack. In a vacuum, I might lean Henry, but it just makes too much sense to get the stack there.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. That's maybe we could consider actually taking our 6th receiver, like a guy like Thornton or week 8 bye, but
okay, gosh.
Maybe we could look for a Bryant or a Tesla, Slayton later, maybe.
Yeah, I mean. De'Ami Brown also had the week 8 bye, and I don't know if that's too much stacking at this point, so we'll probably avoid him, I'm thinking.
God, what do you think here? This is bad. Oh, Ollie Gordon. Let's just click Ollie Gordon, dude.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I was going to say Woody Marks, but I like the Ollie Gordon call.
Let's click Ollie Gordon because I want to talk about him anyways, and I think we're just...
Yeah, I mean, if this A-chain injury lingers, and then also Jalen Wright's banged up right now, not to mention it seems like Ollie Gordon outplayed Jalen Wright, and he's just the RB2 in Miami now. So, I mean, can you imagine, what if A-chain, what if it's kind of like a CMC thing where, okay, he's not going to play week 1 after all. I'm not saying he's out for the season, but all of a sudden, Ollie Gordon comes out week 1, gets 20 touches, 100 total yards, a touchdown, and it's like,
Yeah,
oh, holy crap! Like this might be a thing.
I'm all in on Gordon now. I mean, we knew he was a good prospect. Normally, though, again, I only picked up a couple of them in Dynasty for like fab slash like a Mr. Irrelevant type pick, because I really hate going for those Justin Rosses, the Ollie Gordon's one, or there was one last year I think too, where it's like a really good prospect, and then they just fall off the face of the earth, kind of like I don't know, like a
Sean
Rattler.
Boutte.
Yeah, Boutte.
Keishawn
That's the
Boutte.
other one I was looking for as well.
Yeah.
I don't like bet. I'd rather bet on a guy that's just like on upwards trajectory than down.
Yeah.
However,
100%.
now Ollie Gordon's back on that upwards trajectory.
Yeah.
He clearly outplayed right at this point. So, and I don't have any to chain. And again, we know he's really injury prone. That's kind of been my biggest issue of why I haven't been able to pull a trigger other than that in that one league where I drafted him in a startup, then got a bag to trade him. It's like he's not having his injury prone stuff priced in, and he's basically being priced as one of the most expensive running backs in Dynasty. So it makes me very nervous to pay anything for a running back like that, because you're really starting to push Gibbs and Bijan level prices for him in Dynasty. And we know that if he gets banged up, people are going to start to get scared. I'm
starting to wonder, is Ollie Gordon a good buy high in Dynasty right now? Buy him on the way.
I'm have offers out right now. If I'm not playing it through a chain, you want to go Pat Bryant here, by the way, and just get him at ADP.
Over Slayton?
I mean, it doesn't matter to
I'm
me.
fine with Pat Bryant.
I was just thinking maybe just as far as upside of
upside. Okay. Yeah.
We might not need an injury for him to actually be good.
Yeah, because we already have so much production built in with the 5 wide receivers that we took prior to that pick. So yeah, I think the upside probably makes more sense. I mean, you're trying to win it all here, right? I mean,
we're up. We're up.
Okay.
Keaton Mitchell. Let's just
DJ Giddens.
Yeah, Giddens. Let's go Giddens. Okay. Just because we want
upside.
We want to hit the.
And yeah, looking at our running back room, I feel like we have just enough production. Can you scroll up? Yeah, between Kamara, Aaron Jones, even JCM, even Dylan Sampson,
Ollie Gordon could kind of be a Mason type thing where again, if anything happens to a chain, we could get some Ollie Gordon like you're talking about. Sampson, again, kind of like a Jordan Mason play, and JCM could just be kind of a hot rookie. So we do have 2 starting running backs to go. I do think it actually is a pretty sneaky running back room, though it doesn't look pretty.
I mean, looks good to me considering the receivers we have. We're pretty solid at QB, at least decent at tight end. I do think Tucker Kraft has some sneaky upside this year. I could see that year 3 breakout. So, dude, I love this team. I think this might be one of the best teams we've ever drafted.
Yeah, I mean, let's go for QB3. Do you want to just try to collect a dart, even if we don't have them stacked?
Yeah. Although now I wish we'd taken Slayton, but who cares? Yeah.
It would be good, but Dart's luckily a guy that you don't need stacked at all. I was gonna say we could go Theo Johnson. However, if there's any chance, we're not gonna get Fannin and Dart though. That's the issue. Maybe we go Theo Johnson then. Who would you rather have, Fannin or Dart? I just feel like
Fannin.
You rather Fannin? Okay, Fannin. Okay, we'll click him then. Maybe Dart comes back to us.
You gotta change the order. Yeah.
Maybe Dart comes back to us, or maybe we get a.
Yeah, I mean, I like Dart. I mean, it seems like he's been getting good reports and has played well. I mean, I haven't watched much preseason, but it seems like there's been positivity around Dart.
He's played really well, and he's just eye test. He just looks really good. He looks like he knows what he's doing. I mean, to be completely honest, he's had some great pocket presence. Extending plays, but sitting in there and throwing some darts. Also, I just learned today his younger brother, he goes anyways. Do you know any guess at what his younger brother's name is? It's an alliteration. Just think of the most crazy thing it could be. It has to do with a vehicle or fuel.
Dodge Dart?
No, it's Diesel Dart.
Diesel Dart?
I mean, this dude in Dynasty might be the 101. Just off the name. I mean, that is just
insane. That's pretty epic.
Yeah, so
it's funny.
Did
we get Fannin?
We got Fannin.
Wait. I was just hearing I don't even know his last name, but Theo on Dynasty Points.
Greminger?
He was doing like a high
Oh,
stake.
who do you want to click here? Maybe like a Justice Hill just randomly, and we'll
Or
walk through.
Brashard Smith.
Brashard Smith.
With
Okay.
the stack with
Yeah,
Mahomes.
I like it. I like it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do love Justice Hill though, but when I saw Brashard
Yep.
Smith, that just made too much sense.
No, I like
Um,
that too.
yeah, but Theo from Dynasty Points was just doing like a high stakes redraft draft, and he took Fannin, and he was saying that he thinks Fannin could be a league winner this year. He wouldn't be shocked if Njoku got traded before the trade deadline. So that was kind of interesting. I'd never heard
Yeah,
that specific possibility before.
Yeah, he's on his contract here. I don't think it would be crazy either, just because of the state of that team.
Yeah,
They're
it would make
likely
it
not
would make a
making
lot of
playoffs.
sense. I mean, like Njoku probably isn't a part of the Browns' future. I mean, he could be. I mean, if
They
he could
really
be good
like
for
him.
another few years, so I wouldn't
Yeah,
think it'd be crazy for the Browns to re-sign him. But it just sounds like something that would happen.
they really like him. If I had to guess, I'd still say he stays, but I do think that Fannin is like, with the reports that we have. I mean, he's already sitting with the starters as well. Like,
Mhm.
it sounds like they really like him. If he takes a step, I
Yeah,
think it's certainly possible that Njoku get traded. Again, I don't
yeah,
think it's like as likely outcome as to him just like staying on the team and possibly
yeah.
getting
But
extended.
also, there's a chance Njoku gets injured. There's
Yeah,
also a
that's the
chance that even with Njoku healthy, maybe the Browns run a lot of 12 personnel with two tight ends out there, and so maybe they're just not using a third receiver a lot. Maybe like Harold Fannin kind of ends up being like the Brown slot receiver effectively. So I think
yep,
there are a number of different scenarios and outs in which you're
hundred percent.
glad you drafted Fannin.
100%. Yeah, I mean, the kind of the one strange thing about it is like there are tight ends that are literally going to be playing like 100% of snaps without, unless they get hurt, they have to take
Yeah.
over them. But again, Njoku gets hurt, he could get traded. There are a lot of outs that exactly you could.
Yeah, and I feel like we have
justify.
like two fairly safe tight ends and Kraft and Strange. I mean, I do think Kraft has some upside, but it just felt like for that third tight end, I just wanted some
No, yeah,
young
I like it.
rookie upside there.
No, I agree. Like I like that pick a lot. Fannin feels I'm the most confident about picking him now in a underdog setting. So let's go over this team quickly. We have a 2-7-6-3 build. Mahomes and Goff, fun quarterback room just to have two. We'll see with KC. We were building around him a little bit. I like it.
Yeah,
With Worthy and Rashard Smith, but yeah, we have Kamara, Aaron Jones to level out the running back room for week one, and
yeah.
then have JCM, Sampson, Ollie Gordon, DJ Giddens, and Rashard. Basically, those are all rookies. I didn't even realize.
Yeah, I mean that's a pretty fun running back room. I think it was like the perfect balance of early season production and rookie upside.
Yeah, because JCM and Sampson and maybe Gordon all have that weird like potential ability to put some points on the board.
Yeah.
Right.
So they give
Away.
us the best of both worlds there. So there's that kind of like nice intersection. So I think that's an awesome running back room. And if this running back class is as good as it was reported to be, then this team is in good shape.
I mean, if this team stays healthy and these running backs end up actually being as good a picks as we think they could end up being,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this team's gonna be dangerous because we have Puka, Amon-Ra, Tet, Worthy, Hunter, and then Pat Bryant. Tucker Craft, Strange, and Fannin will certainly do it at tight end as long as they stay healthy. So
Yeah,
that's a fun team.
that's an awesome team. I mean, I give that an A. I mean, I might be biased, but I think we did. I think we knocked it out of the park on with this team.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really fun team if it stays healthy and we catch a couple breaks. Like I really like it.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it's kind of the ones where you can just lean into Mahomes and Goff, just getting red hot when you need them. They feel like a pretty good, two quarterback combo. Again,
Mm-hmm.
don't know how exactly I feel about Mahomes. Like, I'm more pessimistic than anything. But when you own Worthy, you got to be looking at the bright side there of what could happen in the range of outcomes. So, like the quarterback room to around that receiver.
Yeah.
We built there. So.
Yeah, and it would have been nice to have gotten a third QB in there, but I think Mahomes and Goff, like that's still pretty solid. So also they're both very healthy quarterbacks generally. I don't think. I mean, how many career starts have or career games have those two players missed due to injury? I would guess it's very few. I mean, Mahomes has a handful. Goff has like barely any. So I think we can get away with the two quarterbacks there.
Yeah, no, for sure. I like that team a lot. we added another one portfolio we can track throughout the season. Try to get some more in before the season starts as well. But I don't know. Yeah, maybe we should revisit some of the stuff we are talking about in some other stuff. I was just gonna say that Ollie Gordon's kind of one of those players that at this point, I'm trying to like just catch lightning in a bottle here with that A chain injury.
Yeah.
Even if it's just A chain's fine. I'm like dynasty wise, I'm playing it through Ollie Gordon now. I was playing it through Wright. I'm gonna be stuck with some shares. Maybe I gotta send Wright plus for Ollie Gordon now.
That's interesting. I mean, I'm trying to decide what to do with all my Jalen Wright because unfortunately, I think I have like 5 shares or something like that. I don't want to say I'm like completely out on him, but I feel like I'm starting to see kind of the writing on the wall that similar with like Condre Miller and Marshawn Lloyd. It just, although this is for a different reason. Yes, Jalen Wright happens to be injured right now. I don't think injuries are his issues. I don't know. I'm just starting to get bad vibes. And it just seems like for one reason or another, it's just not going to happen for him. I could be wrong about that. I did think he was a good prospect, and I liked him, and there's still hope for him. He still could be the RB2 when everyone's healthy, but I'm just starting to get that sense that there's just always something in the way. It's either like, oh, well, he'll have these games where it's like an awful average, yards per carry, whether it's a regular season game or preseason. And it's like, oh, well, the line's terrible. But then like Ollie Gordon, isn't having that issue.
There basically hasn't been anything positive about Jalen Wright since he was drafted. I mean, that's basically.
And now he's injured, and Ollie Gordon seemingly outplayed him in preseason. It's just like, gosh, it just might not happen. So like,
I'm willing to trade Wright.
Sell all my shares. I don't know if that many people are even interested in buying Jalen Wright anymore, but I do kind of like that idea of Jalen Wright plus for Ollie Gordon. Like maybe that's something that would be worth shooting out there.
It's weird because the manager might not want to do it because like they want to keep the better Dolphins running back, but they also just, depending on what that plus is, they might just be able to tell themselves like, oh, like I'm actually might be getting the handcuff, the real handcuff, and I'm getting plus. So it's like, it could be a good deal for both sides to bet on there. But I think just at this point, like, right down the road could do it. Maybe even this season somehow, some way. But there literally has not been anything positive. So it's just kind of the point where if there was anyone else in that running back room to doing anything, like you got to roll with them at this point. So.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I should probably send out some offers for Ollie Gordon to buy him high. I do have 2 shares of him in Dynasty, so I'm happy for that. Certainly better than nothing. But yeah, I have a lot more shares of Wright though.
I'd be willing to send, like, if I'm on a contending team, as early as much as my contending third on top of Wright, just to get him right now, just to make sure like
I like that. I like that. Would that be your first offer? What would your first offer be to send out?
I already sent one with I sent one with a third and Chris Rodriguez is what it was. I might actually have Wright in that league to check it out, but I would start with like Wright. I mean, I'd start with Wright in a fourth just to get the business. Like I'm just gonna assume the manager's not dumb enough to.
Yeah, or I think another fun one to send out, even potentially as a first offer, if you want it to be a little more attractive, Wright in a third for Ollie Gordon in a fourth. I could see that as a nice offer to send out.
Yeah, actually, that's probably just keep a pick or
a
pick for a pick. Yeah, I do that actually. That's a pretty good one actually. I'm probably gonna send that out in all my leagues and just try to 100% swap to Gordon. It is just one of those ones where maybe it doesn't even matter who you end up having, but I mean, this is also one of those ones where leagues could be won in that Miami backfield. If you get the starting running back, he's looked good. I'm willing to.
I mean, imagine like if you could get this year's Jordan Mason. Now I know he eventually got injured, but like the trajectory he was on, like I mean, he was looking like a league winner early in the season. So maybe Ollie Gordon could be this year's version of that. So I definitely think that's a good call. I definitely got to send out some trade offers for him. Maybe I'll do it in the leagues we aren't in together because I don't want the Ollie Gordon owner to get these big ideas that I got all these multiple offers in for Gordon. He's this hot commodity, and then the price starts going up. So maybe I'll do you a solid there and avoid those leagues. But I do think that's a good call. Also, it brings me back to this subject that we were going to talk about more or get into last stream, which is just about this idea of trading away rookies during the off season before their rookie season. So, like, what are your thoughts on that? Because the reason I'm asking this, and because I made a trade a few weeks ago, I alluded to it earlier, right before the hype for Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt started. Actually, I think it was even longer. It may have been like a month or two ago. This one I'm talking about. But basically, I got in JCM for Fab off of waivers after the rookie draft, and then someone offered me 2 future 5th-round picks plus more Fab than I even paid to get JCM in the first place off waivers for JCM. So, I mean, it was definitely a profit. I mean, I think I was like doubling the Fab I paid for him, and then I get 2 free 5th-round picks. So I was just like, okay, fine, take him. At the time I had like 6 shares of him. Like, okay, fine, I'll cash out a share. I mean, I liked him as a player. I wasn't like dying to move him or anything, but I'm just like, oh, fine, I'll take a free profit. It opens up a roster space. I can add someone fun off of waivers, which I did. But yeah, that didn't age too well. So I guess my question is, what is the lesson to be learned from that?
Yeah, I mean, look, trading away any 7th-round rookie running back, whether you like him or not, I mean, I think the hit rate in the last, whatever, handful of years is literally 0. Actually, there's Pacheco.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's just so unlikely. I think that if there's any lesson learned at all, which I don't think there is, honestly, that much,
Mm-hmm.
it's literally just in all these drafts, we should be just targeting running backs in ambiguous backfields, running backs
Yeah.
with just the weakest starters. If
Yeah.
I mean, that's generally what I'm trying to do. Or if you know the running back is just like extremely injury prone, in their past. I mean, that's one you can do as well. The Commanders were one of the best backfields, and I think the Cowboys. So like Blue and JCM are like 2 of the best. These later targets. You don't even have to like spend a second on them.
Right.
So I think that's like one of the lessons learned. Maybe you can roster them throughout the season, try to hang on to as much as possible. But actually, wait, there is another lesson though, because I think the ideology of like, oh, like I got some profit is like that's like a slippery slope of like how you can make deals. Because if you pick up Torrey Horton for 100 fab and I offered you immediately a few weeks later like Torrey Horton for like 300 fab or whatever, right? I mean, like it's just like so. I mean, in another league, someone might have dumped their entire clip on Torrey Horton,
Right.
and it's just like whatever you got him for, like it just doesn't matter now. Like it really doesn't. Like a fifth, by the way, in fifths, that's the most important part. Is like fifths just. I almost like want to trade fifths, so I don't have to worry about. The only league I think I'm in is that league that you made that deal in. Like, I just want to get rid of fifths, at least for, like, right now, to, like, not have to worry about them. And then maybe in the pre-draft process, if I'm moving things around, I might accept them back kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, fifths just, like, aren't really... They're just kind of, like, fake picks. Even if you got JCM there.
But yeah, that's the irony of it, is that I could have taken JCM in that 5th.
Yeah.
I didn't even have to. I got him, for Fab after the draft. But, like, I could have taken JCM there. I mean... I'm checking right now to see where Ollie Gordon went in our league. Like, I mean, he went in like the 4th or 5th. So it is I mean, where did Tesla go? I mean, I'm going to look this up right now. In that same league, okay, Tesla did go at the 401. That's because Coda's really high on Tesla.
Or something.
Yeah, let me look for. Okay, yeah, I own Torrey Horton, so you'd think I would know, but yeah, I'm in way too many leagues. Okay, I got Horton at the 407. And then what was the other player I wanted to check on?
Gordon.
Ollie Gordon, yeah. Ollie Gordon. Let's see. He was taken at the 409. So, I mean, there were some really good players taken in the 4th and 5th round. I mean, I think Brashard Smith went in the 5th round. And then, yeah, you get JCM off waivers. So maybe this was just a particularly deep rookie class, but the irony of the lesson you're saying, and I'm not saying I even disagree with it, but the irony of it is that, like, I could have drafted JCM with a 5th round pick. So that just sort of underlines like that,
he
not always
should have been picked in the 5th.
A valuable pick sometimes.
He probably should have been taken in the 5th. So there's a lot of like ways to look at it, because okay, you traded a 5th round pick, like what should have been a 5th round pick, for 2 5ths, so you doubled and you got some fab. But the thing is like, does the profit actually matter? Because the one thing is, okay, you do free up a roster spot now, but you're just creating an issue in the later. If you had a roster that really needed 5th round picks, there are rosters that you might need those 5th round picks to to take
Yeah.
shots on these JCM types, then that actually might be pretty valuable to you. The issue
But since
is that team,
since I have a load, I
you
have a
don't need
loaded.
those fifths at all.
Yeah, I have a loaded team. I have a great starting lineup, a great bench. I have like a
A
zillion
million
future
picks.
picks. So it's like,
That's
yeah,
the
what does
mistake.
adding 2 5th-round picks do for my team? Like, really nothing.
That's the true mistake is knowing your roster, because I'm in the league, is like those fifths are now an issue for you. You're gonna have to try to get credit for them. No one's gonna want to give you credit for them. So there are
Yeah.
teams where 5th round picks, maybe even like on teams like ours, where yeah, I can think of a roster that like I would love 2 5th round picks if there was a 5th round,
Yeah.
but most of my
Yeah.
teams probably doesn't matter. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So
I
I
mean
mean,
there's quite a few different ways to look at it. I just think the issue is if you thought the player is like a complete zero bust no matter what, maybe it's like you actually like JCM, it was an ambiguous backfield, you can just kind of hang on. If he's most likely not going to hit anyways, the issue isn't that you like got him wrong. Like you like him as a player, you drafted a bunch. It's completely fine to like trade any like rookie running back with that kind of draft capital, that profile away. You've really just gotten lucky on what's happened so far.
yeah.
I just think in general though, like the actual process of the trade,
Yeah.
player aside, you didn't actually really gain anything from it.
Yeah, so I think that was the issue. So I think that's what you really have to think about, the context of your team. Like, am I really gaining something here? So if we're trying to like extrapolate out the lesson there as kind of like a broad rule of thumb,
Yeah.
what would you say? I mean, is it hard to say that to have some general rule of thumb that applies to everything? I guess it would just be like make sure you're getting something of value for that specific team.
Yeah,
But I guess like the big,
something that helps the team, because
yeah.
if it doesn't if it's not something you need or helps the team, then like you might as well just be keeping the player or the rookie, because again these rookies are the best chance you have at instantly gaining value in the
Yeah.
overnight. So
Yeah. And let's also talk about this as, for a different scenario where the hype is starting on a player and you haven't traded them away yet. You still have them on your roster. Once that hype starts, and then there's all of a sudden people in your league that thought JCM was garbage now are suddenly are interested in trading for him, or sending you offers, or asking you about him. At that point, like, I guess the question that I'm asking is, at what point do you potentially look to cash out on one of these rookies? I mean, do you have any kind of like philosophy or rule of thumb for that?
not necessarily. I wouldn't say I have like a complete. Really, it's just like it just depends case to case, really, right?
Yeah.
If I mean JCM's a good one for that conversation too, because like I'm really wondering at this point, like, I mean, are we almost like, I don't think we're at the ceiling at all for JCM, but we're probably pretty close. Like honestly, I mean, we've seen the ceiling case on a better. I mean, Pacheco has everything in his favor as far as what JCM, like Pacheco in year one. I mean, he was younger. He wasn't 24 point something years old. He was on the Chiefs. The Commanders are good offense too, but like the Chiefs are just the Chiefs. Like one of the best offenses, especially back then.
Right.
When Pacheco was a rookie. So Pacheco is just like has a far better ceiling case of like what he basically accomplished like all he could, and up until breaking his leg. I mean,
yeah,
there was like not much more you could expect from him. He was awesome.
Yeah, and what was Pacheco worth at his peak in Dynasty?
Yeah, it had to be, his peak was last season, like preseason area. I mean, he was a really high round 3 redraft pick.
Okay.
On one of the best offenses, people were of course thinking Mahomes and the Chiefs would bounce back. It would be a great offense. So
right.
In Dynasty, he was kind of like this like 6th round, 7th round redraft pick. I saw him oftentimes in round 7, I can recall. Thinking that was a good value. He never was going round 5 or nothing like that, at least in leagues I was drafting in. So that gives you like a really good idea though of like what the ultimate peak is for a running back, and that's with like Pacheco doing everything he could over his first 2 seasons and completely taking over the backfield. I mean, there was no one in that backfield. It was Hunt wasn't even there. So I think that's like
what's the peak value do you think for JCM? You say we're close to it because like right now, JCM's value in Dynasty is about a mid-second. So like in a 100th percentile outcome, what's the most you could imagine JCM being worth? Like in season, he's like, let's say he's crushing it, the workhorse for the Commanders. Is he worth like a mid or random first plus like a fun throw-in? Like would that be like the absolute ceiling you could imagine?
Well, there's probably a better ceiling comp or very similar comp, and it's Tyrone Tracy last year, who could actually score you like a. It's not that you could get a first for him, but you could almost get like a first in value. Here's the thing: I remember Josh. I offered Joshie the guaranteed 201, and he wouldn't do it. So it was right in between that first and a second range.
Okay.
For Tracy, that's what you would get for credit for him in a trade. So I really think that's.
And Tracy was similar in that, like he was 24 years old as a rookie, so that is kind of a nice comp there.
Late.
Yeah, fifth rounder compared to seventh rounder. Yeah.
And the offense. Yeah, I mean, a little higher pick, but a worse offense. But he was still doing really, really good. And
Commanders have a much better offense this year. They should than the Giants had last year. So maybe that kind of balances itself out.
What I would say, like, it was at least in Tracy's favor of what we were seeing for his value. I mean, not only was he making these like explosive plays left and right, he also had the pass catching value of just like soaking in targets.
Right.
So I mean, it's not that JCM. I don't necessarily think he's like a terrible receiver. I'm not like too familiar with his receiving profile, but Austin Eckler exists. That is like, I mean, if Eckler could leave, I'd be much more excited in JCM personally. Eckler's gonna take like all that receiving while he's on the field or whatever, as long as he's active and healthy. He's going to dominate that part of the game. So, yeah, I mean, I really think if JCM hits a ceiling and is, a guy you're starting every week in fantasy, he can be touching that late first in value, just like Tracy was.
Yeah.
Even if he's like the starter year over year, I mean, you're just not going to get more than a late first for him. Like, it's just not going to happen. It has nothing really to do with his age, although that does not help at all.
Yeah.
He's a
you want to hear something interesting? You want to hear something interesting? So I received an offer for JCM in the break room. It was from Seb, and he offered me my own second back. So I got a pretty good team in that league. So it would, most likely be a late second in 26.
Yep.
And, I really didn't want to move JCM for that. It just didn't seem like what am I really gaining? I mean, I guess I can just cash out on him. I have a lot of good running backs in that league, so I could just like cash out, take the profit. I mean, I got him for fab. But this is what I counter with, because I wanted to counter with something that would like really make it worth my while, because I do think he's going to continue rising in value, and I do think he could get to that range of being worth a late first. So basically, my thinking was that I'm willing to add to JCM. But I kind of feel like I want to get that late first back, to really make this worth my while. So I added Torrey Horton to it, which I think is, as we've alluded to him a couple times here, we've mentioned him on the stream. Like, he's definitely someone that's gotten some buzz, looked good in preseason, should have basically a starting role, at least top 3 receiver on the Seahawks right from jump to start the season. And I hate to even move him too, because who knows what his ceiling is. Like, I think he's a pretty good prospect. And then I even threw in Luke Schoonmaker just for kicks, just sweeten the deal even more on top of that, all to get my late projected 26 first. It would be my own first getting it back. And so I countered with that. This was at night. And then in the morning, I checked with my co-manager, which is my brother. And he really wasn't that crazy about it. I mean, he said like, hey, if you really feel like this is the right move, like, I'm okay with it. But honestly, like even taking Horton out of the equation and Schoonmaker, he just wasn't even that excited about like losing JCM for a late first. Now, I think I disagree with that a little bit, because like that probably is the ceiling. But like I can understand that. Oh, on top of it, we also lose Horton, and like who even knows what he is. So yeah, I think my brother's point is like we don't even really fully know what we're trading away yet. Just talking about JCM, not even to mention Torrey Horton and, even Schoonmaker to a lesser degree. So, yeah, I think I agreed with that. And I even pulled the offer. Now, Seb got back to me and said he wouldn't have done it anyways, which I'm not surprised by. I didn't expect him to love that offer. But it was just funny that Seb didn't like the offer, but like even if it was just JCM for the late first, my brother, right or wrong, wasn't even crazy about that, let alone Horton and Schoonmaker being in there. So I kind of thought that was an interesting situation.
Yeah, I mean, anything's possible, right? Like I was just saying, JCM could reach that value if everything goes perfectly for him. He's an every week starter in fantasy. That could absolutely happen.
Yeah.
It might even be that unlikely, honestly.
Yeah. But what do you think about that offer? I mean,
I
not in
would.
terms of like how it would be perceived, but in terms of the reality of it, was
That's
was that a respectable offer? I mean, because I think I mean, I think either person could end up winning that trade depending on how Horton is,
if you
especially.
start adding anything more than, say, you added something a little more significant than Schoonmaker, then it starts to get in this really gray area. Because here's the thing: it's really impossible to say what side's like actually gonna win.
Sure.
Like this is something I would have a philosophy on, and is I'm just taking the first every time. You know, if JCM was 21 years old and like a fourth round draft pick, okay, now things could be really different. I don't know if he was like,
Yeah.
say, Bucky Irving last year kind of thing. If we were on him like that,
Yeah, if he had fourth round draft capital and he was 22 years old or
just
21,
like
yeah,
not 24 point something, and you
yeah,
know,
and a seventh rounder.
yeah. So I mean,
It makes sense.
it is one that you can lose, but that's probably the happiest I'd ever be to lose a trade would be to get a deal done like that,
Where you get a first,
where you
yeah,
just get a. I don't care if it's late projected,
yeah,
especially if it's just your own. There's something about owning your own first. Like, don't get me wrong, if I'm gonna trade one away, if I own multiple, I'll
yeah.
actually normally trade my own first away.
Because you're
Uh,
confident that you're probably contending.
yeah, I mean, and that's why I would do it is because I'm confident I'm
Yeah,
contending, and I like to get other people's first and try to like bet
yeah.
against other managers and
Besides
stuff.
having that hedge where if your team disappoints either through bad luck or a tough
But
schedule
it's
or
still
injuries
nice.
or whatever the case, then it's like, okay, I had a disappointing season, but hey, at least now I'm going to get the 106. Whereas someone else would have had that great
Yeah.
pick if I just traded it away.
It could be completely wrong. If I could add a Torrey Horton type player, Thornton, anything like that, I would have zero JCM right now if
Yeah.
ever. Like
What if
I'm
you had to add a early projected third onto JCM and
I,
Horton? Would you still do that to get a late first?
I'd still just do it. I'd get the first. The first is just you know what. Here's the thing. You know what it is at worst. It's still a first.
Yeah.
But the first itself has like more upside, in my opinion, than what you're even trading away. Because that
Right.
first, I mean, say it's your own. I mean, God, like, what if something goes bad for you? You know, have the
Yeah.
ability to kind of whatever
Tank.
tank on that season or just retrade it. Like, there's so much things you do the first. So, I mean, first obviously hold a ton of value in my opinion. I mean, I'm always stacking them up just like you are.
Yeah.
So for me, it's I'm completely fine missing. Here's the thing though, I do own a few JCMs. I had the same offer from Seb. He started with a 2027, his own with a really good team, and I was just like, it's yeah, it's 2 years out.
Yeah.
This is a very specific team where, I mean, our RBs are Connor and Henderson. We
Okay.
have no RB3 that's like even
Mhm.
projectable other than
Yeah.
Bill. So he
Right.
actually has a lot of use for that team.
Yeah. See, it was interesting for this team because my running backs are Saquon Barkley, Alvin Kamara, Josh Jacobs,
Yeah, okay.
Derrick Henry,
I
David
see.
Montgomery.
Yeah, I'm just that I'm because of that running back room. I am like way more willing to. I mean, I would just be. Yeah, I'd add really like anything to get a first
Yeah.
basically.
I mean, if I thought I could do that, maybe I'd try to talk my brother into it. But
Yeah,
I just have a feeling with like where Seb is at with his team in that league. That's the kind of the one team Seb feels like he ruined or put in a bad position or
oh yeah,
however you want to phrase it. Try to use his words, not mine. I mean, Seb knows he made some mistakes, but I mean that was his first dynasty league. He was just learning. Like it's understandable. Like I'm not putting Seb down or anything like that. But wait, where was I going with this? But yeah, having a but yeah, what I was saying is that I don't I don't think there's well, of course there's something, but within reason, like I could add like all kinds of different stuff. Like I feel like Seb wouldn't want to give up that first, even if I was like overpaying. Like even if I gave JCM and Horton and Schoonmaker and an early third and threw in a fourth and threw in Fab. Like I feel like yeah, Seb would just cling to that even late projected first. But who knows? If I thought there was a better chance of if I thought I had a real chance of getting that done, maybe I'd try to talk my brother into something like that, or something close to it or whatever. But I think I'm just kind of happy riding out JCM and Horton, because I am a little gun shy about trading away these rookies before I fully realize what they are or know what they are, or before I feel like they've peaked in value. Because I think that trade of JCM for 2/5 and Fab, it definitely did leave an impression on me where I felt like, you know what, I got to learn something from this and make sure I don't make that same mistake again.
Yeah, I mean, I think Horton has the higher ceiling, to be completely honest.
Yeah, he might. As crazy as that sounds, yeah, you're probably right.
If
Yeah.
you're talking about like literal ceiling, Horton has a far higher ceiling. I mean, he could be Puka for all we know. Very
Yeah.
unlikely,
Sure.
especially
But
just
who
the
knows?
situation and
Yeah, imagine like Cup gets injured week 1, and then like Horton's playing, 95% of snaps, and he goes out and has like 80 yards and a touchdown, on, six catches and, 8, 9 targets. It's like, oh boy, like this might be something right here.
Yeah, I mean, he could easily be worth a second sooner than later, and or
Really.
better, just depending on how things
Yeah,
go
so I
for
think
him.
if I really wanted to cash out on JCM because I have so many running backs, yeah, maybe the better move would be like take Horton out of there. I don't even think Seb likes Schoonmaker, so take him out of there. But like JCM in an early third, I wonder if that would get him interested. So who knows? I don't know if Seb is watching right now, or maybe he'll watch the replay of this. Could be something for me to consider. I mean, maybe I'd even have to add to that. I don't know, but interesting to think about.
Yeah, probably my favorite trade I would try to do right now, especially like the other two teams I think I own JCM on. I have really strong running back rooms, kind of like you were saying in that league. My favorite trade would be to not like I probably have my own first in those ones anyways. Just go for a manager that I think is kind of fraudulent, and I'm literally willing to add a first of value onto JCM, and I will.
Yeah.
I will add the fakest of first, but like
Yeah.
even over, I will be willing to lose the deal to
Right.
try and capitalize on like an early first.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think of a good example. Like, let's say if you had like wide receiver depth, I'm assuming in a heartbeat you would offer Devonte Adams and JCM for possible early first.
If it was if it was the right team, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, especially as long as I didn't like absolutely need them. That is the one thing about the league where Seb was trying to get him. We actually really need JCM, so
Right.
we're not like too desperate to trade him in there. That's like the one of my 3. By the way, gotta stop this conversation because we have the legend Green Bean is in the chat.
Green Bean, oh my God, it's been forever. Welcome back, Green Bean. Good to have you here again.
Yeah, he even said it's been a while since he got the show. Hope we've been doing well. We were joking, I think a couple times on stream.
Yeah.
Of like, where's Green Bean been? Because
we totally did. Like, I mean, we had like last off season, we had a number of like regular viewers. This is before we were really like really connected with like a number of our leagues and really kind of like found our audience. But like prior to that, we had just like some random regular viewers, and I couldn't remember all their usernames, but for whatever reason, like the one that really stuck out was Green Bean. And yeah, we definitely have you definitely have come up from time to time. So yeah, great to see you back here, man.
Yeah, we just did a draft earlier, the puppy 4 or 5, whatever one's active.
Yeah.
So yeah, we went with an interesting build there. If you want to watch that later or watch it back.
Yeah, watch the replay.
Started very, very heavy receiver, which has been probably the first time we've really done that. Reminded us of 2024, underdog type thing. So
Right. Yeah, I mean, it was like, it definitely felt like a true zero running back. But what's crazy is that we still end up with Kamara, and then who was our second running back again? Aaron Jones, and then we even got JCM. So I think it was probably one of the best teams we drafted. So yeah, definitely check that out. But it was a really fun draft, and we were really excited about the way our team turned out.
Yeah, I mean we neglected running back, but we got some risers, we got some fun shots.
Yeah.
Was a big fan of how we kind of I would say that's a really like unique build, at least in my opinion. I haven't
feels like it. Yeah, it does feel like it.
So I think I think we did a pretty good job, going around and shooting for upside. But Green Bean. I mean, how could we forget you, man? You were hopping in some BBMs, some drafts with us, and I just don't know how you could forget the name Green Bean. I mean that.
I know it just stood out. Yeah, he says, "LOL, nice. Feels good to be remembered." Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Yeah, I mean, it was meaningful too because I mean, last off season, I mean, that's really when we started Dynasty Savvy, and we're trying to find our audience and everything, and so we were just so thrilled to just have like any random person watching our stream, and even more importantly, contributing to the live chat, and because we love engaging with you guys, so yeah, we definitely remembered you.
Yeah, no, for sure. So I mean, we're trying to push as many kind of best ball bros episodes here as we can before the season. So I don't know if I don't know. I feel like we probably should just try to go live as much as we can the last what
Yeah.
10, 11 days of the season
And,
because we have
and
a few
also an
games.
idea that just came to me, Green Bean. Like, if you ever want to like hop on with us and join the call and help us draft a best ball
Yeah,
mania team or something like that before the season starts, like we'd love to have you on sometime. So let us know if you'd ever be into that kind of thing.
yeah. I mean that's a great idea. We've yeah. If you haven't caught us since like the last off season, that's something we have done with in Dynasty. We were answering a guy's question, Joey Bradley, who
Yeah.
we're now in leagues with, and he's in
Yeah.
there. We have a Dynasty listener league,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, Green Bean's missed a lot. Yeah, a lot has happened with the channel since then. But yeah, we've been having lots of guests on just throughout this entire off season because like we went on a bit of a hiatus from like what was it like mid season last year during the
pretty,
season.
pretty much yeah, mid season to like off season. So
Yeah, well, yeah, I think it was like what was it like? I can't remember exactly when we started up again, but like yeah, early this year was it like January, February, whatever it was. But yeah, we've been having lots of guests on, so yeah, we'd love to have you on sometime if you ever would be interested in that.
yeah, exactly. So we're always trying to get anyone in the chat or anyone that we've been connected with, just get
Yeah.
them on here. We've done that with also a ton of our league mates. If you look at
Oh yeah, and it's been so much fun, like kind of meeting the people that we're in leagues with, meeting the people that have discovered our channel just randomly on YouTube. It's just been fun connecting in that way, and also kind of also toward that end of just uh, connecting with everyone that we play fantasy football with. We also started a movie club. And so like basically we've like chosen a movie each week for like everyone to watch. And then we talk about it at like the end of our midweek stream. So we started with the Truman Show, and then we did There Will Be Blood, and then we did Happy Gilmore 2. And now this week it's Vanilla Sky from 2001. So yeah, definitely choosing some unexpected movies, some old ones as well. And so that's been fun. So yeah, Green Bean, I don't know if you're into movies at all, but if you are, feel free to watch Vanilla Sky, and we're probably going to review it probably like next Wednesday evening or this coming Wednesday evening.
yeah, he says he only has his phone for internet, but being guest would be cool. So I mean, one thing that we get that commonly with people that we've had on before is like you just need a phone and like internet or data or whatever, because you just gotta join the Zoom call, and like we'll share the screen. I mean that's
Yeah.
basically all you gotta do. We
Yeah,
just
you'll still be able to see the draft board and everything. But yeah, if you just have somewhere where you can put your phone, where obviously you don't want to be having to like hold it for like 1 to 2 hours or whatever. But if you have something you can lean it against, or if you have some kind of little phone tripod or stand or whatever, like I'm sure you can make something work.
yeah, I'm just gonna put our sleeper names in the chat there if you
Oh yeah,
do want, if you are interested in that, Green Bean. We're
yeah,
just getting in connection with us. That's our
yeah,
sleeper usernames,
yeah.
and yeah, we can set something up whether it's now or in the future. If you want to do that, we'd love to have you on, of course, because we're. I mean, this is a good surprise to have you back.
Oh yeah, for sure. And also, Green Bean, if you want to drop your sleeper name in the chat, like feel free to do that as well. We could always send you a message, but yeah, either way, feel free to reach out to us.
So he has a dynasty question, which is
Oh,
awesome.
awesome.
I'm sure we knew you played dynasty by asking you before, but can't remember.
Been a while.
So he says he traded a rookie 26 second for JCM in a fourth.
Ooh,
I mean,
nice.
we basically were just talking about this before you joined about how we both got offers from the same manager, different leagues, for
Yeah.
26. I actually ended up getting my 27-6 from Seb into a 26 second. It was also,
Okay.
I think, mine, which you said was like the same situation as yours. I could be wrong.
Yeah, so late projected 26 second.
Yeah, like mid or late or something. So, I mean, we were
Yeah.
just talking about all range of outcomes for JCM. While I don't think if everything kind of goes perfectly and he's scoring, he's a must start player in your start 10 type dynasty leagues. I mean, we just saw with Tracy, he could be itching that late first ceiling.
Yeah.
The thing is like I'd still pay a second for him if I needed him or like anything worth a second.
Yeah.
Because he can give you those starts. It's weird. Like the ceiling for value isn't that high, but like he could actually give you that production. You even
Right.
got a fourth back. I mean, if you're looking at, we just redrafted the rookie draft our last stream for this year's class. I mean, like the second round is just now a bunch of like third, fourth round rookies and stuff. So like I love getting a pick back there. It's not a trade I've done.
And Blake, do you remember where I took JCM in that rookie draft that we did last year? I want to say it was like the 205, somewhere around there.
You took him at the 205, which like is probably
maybe
correct.
It was a little early, but like honestly, I really think like even if I was a little aggressive on him, he was definitely in play around that range.
The way that I play, it's probably like, or that I want to draft these guys outside the first round of rookie drafts, like it's probably correct. Though like there are some players I'm willing to take some bets on that I drafted right after. I think it was Tootin right after, and
it was like Mason Taylor and Jalen Knoll and Jaden Higgins, guys like that.
Yeah, those guys in a vacuum, like I would still just like rather have, and if I had to sit and hold a guy and just play for the upside. But if you need,
I'm almost thinking like Ollie Gordon should have maybe gone in the late second now, because it just seems like, as we were talking about him earlier, we just kind of both realized that he's really been shooting up our boards as well. So I can't remember where we took Ollie Gordon, but
can't remember either. I mean, I would at least put him with. I'd probably put him still right in that range of like Horton and stuff like that. Yeah, you can get him in that area.
Okay, and did we take Horton in the third? I think.
Yeah, we had all those receivers in the mid third.
Okay.
So yeah,
I mean, we probably could put him in the third, but yeah, I think he could even be borderline late second at this point if you were doing a redraft today. And that was kind of the fun of the last stream, is just like, what would a rookie draft look like if you did it today with all the values that have changed and the hype and training camp news and preseason and everything.
Yeah, that was a fun stream for sure. I mean, if you want to really in depth, you can skip through it.
Yeah, check that out. We did it. We did it in like the second half of the stream. I think I can't remember. Did we start out with a best ball draft? I don't even remember. But it was in the second half.
The best ball draft. We went into it, but that was a really fun exercise. You can skip through it, see kind of where we had guys ranked. Again, things are probably not exactly. I mean, we didn't even plan on doing it.
Right. It was just a spontaneous thing. So yeah.
Right on the spot, but I think it was really fun to process to do there and look at. But I like that trade, especially if you like have a use for JCM and you're a contending team. As long as that's not like an early second.
Yeah, if that's a mid to late second, you get JCM and you get a fourth kickback. Like I think that's a very solid trade. So I like that.
One thing I'll say is like with all the JCM hype, I have 3 shares. There's a lot of room to add more. Mm-hmm. I haven't been like looking to trade for him at all, right or wrong.
Yeah,
the hype is like so crazy that I just kind of want to. Yeah, I would rather buy guys like Ollie Gordon.
Yeah, or even like maybe even like Torrey Horton, since he has a higher ceiling, as you mentioned.
Yeah, exactly. I've been just looking to get guys that are cheaper at this point.
Yeah,
I did buy one bill like a month ago, or actually, about a month ago. Actually, funny enough, it was from Seb, who was trying to buy that back because they came in and basically they wanted Devin Neal. I think they had like Kamara or something. Mm-hmm. They desperately wanted Devin Neal, and I'm like, then they gave us like JCM in a fourth or something at the time. There was not any JCM hype, so we're like, all right, whatever.
So you got JCM and a fourth for Devin Neal?
Yeah, I mean, they just came to us like pounding the table for Devin Neal.
And this was before the hype for JCM, obviously?
Yeah, this is like over a month ago. So we're just like, it's two darts for running backs, and we'll get a free fourth kind of thing. So.
Yeah, I haven't heard a whisper about Devin Neal. Like, I'm not even sure if he's like number 2 there. I mean, I heard someone say it was Andre, which is almost hard to believe, but we love him as a player.
Actually, really good coach speak from, and he's been staying healthy, from Kellen Moore. He basically just said like the opposite of what Dennis Allen would say, and he's like, I don't care about his history with with his team. Yeah. Like he's been doing awesome. He's talking about not splitting work, but stepping in for Kamara if needed. Like really.
Yeah, this is Condre Miller you're talking about, just to be clear.
He's
Okay.
finally getting the coach speak, so I do still
Oh,
have some shares
interesting.
kicking around. That's another great guy that honestly he could be back in that candidate of.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's gonna be willing to buy it. He could be a good dynasty running back target. Green Bean with another comment. Let's see what he says. Most
Okay,
likely
so
mid second at best.
yeah. And he said he tried sending a third, but he said he needed a second, so bit the
Yep,
bullet and added the fourth for a little extra value. Yeah, I think that was solid. I
that's
mean, yeah, I mean you're not getting JCM for a third these days. It's just not happening. So
yeah.
I
For
think that was a very good deal.
for value, that's basically the best you can do. What's funny about like these seconds versus thirds is like technically like I would way rather send the second and get a fourth back in I don't know in a scenario where like if you're gonna say like you actually are gonna draft that fourth round pick or whatever if you're living in a
Okay.
world with like no trades I guess like beyond
Right.
that because obviously the second is like the best thing for trade value so it sucks to give up a second but like if you were to give up just like 2/3 instead for JCM like
Mhm.
you're literally losing two picks and this one you're not losing
Not
anything.
losing any picks.
So
Yeah.
like I like the trade that you did much better than sending like 2/3. Even though 2/3 I don't even think could get you JCM right now, which is pretty funny.
Yeah. Well, what do you think? I mean, that's actually I think Green Bean's trade there. Is that something we should copy? Like, should we? I mean, should we be spamming out a second for JCM plus a fourth? Because like that sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah. I mean I think not a lot of managers would probably be willing to do that because basically what we're saying is we wouldn't do that. So I guess we probably should be sending out offers trying to do that. Again, I think he still is likely to go up in value. Just like how much is it? I'm not too
We can
sure.
always cash out on him once he's worth like an early second or
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like immediately, like I think it could be, whatever in the first month of the season or midway through the season, he'll just be worth more, and you can get
Or
more.
how about this? Imagine like a few weeks into the season, let's say JCM's doing real well, scoring a bunch of points, looking awesome. What if you could trade JCM for like
Oh,
a contender second next year, plus like Bayshell Tootin, who let's say
yeah,
has done like nothing at that point. Like,
that's
see, that's the kind of fun deal you could get where you get a buy low on a Tootin.
that's why I said like it's probably not wrong where you had JCM because points we know like young points like you can really take advantage of things. I mean, there was probably a point last year where you could trade Tracy for like pure Sol in a second easily, like right,
Right.
like that few
Absolutely.
windows, weeks windows.
Sure.
I mean, probably basically until week 17 where he popped 2 weeks in a row, right? You could probably do that. So I think
100%.
that's just a really smart idea there.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, hey, like Green Bean, like I think you inspired me here. Like I
yeah,
haven't been sending out any offers for JCM because I think I've just been assuming like, oh no, the hype's out of
true.
control. It's gonna be way too expensive. But you never know. I mean, you dangle a second in front of someone, and someone just might be willing to cash out. And so,
Yeah,
heck, if I'm getting fourth back in it, like I think I would do that in every league I'm in.
yeah. You don't sorry, excuse me. You don't lose a pick, which is awesome. And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I do think that's probably the most bullish case. One thing I was gonna say is the most underpriced, not underpriced, but like the most hated, talented running back who I recently made a trade for, Brees Hall. Is there a scenario where you can basically swap? Because they're the same age now. In fact, probably Krosky Merritt's like maybe a couple months older. Because I know
Yeah.
that Brees is like freshly turned 24.
Right.
Um, there's probably a scenario out there where you could like damn near swap JCM for Brees. Now you might have to add like even if it's just as like a second or a third or something like that. Like I guess it just depends on how they're doing.
Yeah.
My God, that sounds like a trade I want to do.
I mean, a year ago, Brees was worth like 3 firsts. He
Yeah,
was worth like the same as like Jameer Gibbs and Bijan. Can you imagine now you might be able to get him like almost straight up for a seventh round, 24-year-old
like
rookie running back? I mean, that's wild
if I
to
had
even
to
think.
add just a second, I would feel like it would feel to me like that was almost straight up because of just
Yeah,
like the talent disparity
Brees
there.
Hall, right? Yeah, so
Yeah, I mean maybe we
maybe
should.
maybe you can even get like a third kickback or something. Like now we're really talking. So
Yeah, maybe we should talk about Brees for a second because we're talking about these, late day three running backs. Let's talk about the first pick of the second round in what was that 2021, I believe, or 2022 in Brees Hall. So
yeah,
I mean, yeah, we're getting the Braylon Allen hype I think you certainly at this point have to be really raising Braylon Allen up your ranks right now. I took him earlier in an underdog draft, like ahead of
Mhm.
ADP, but he's actually like lower than I thought. Right? I mean, Brees is dropping big time, but Braylon
Yeah.
Allen's still just like going in the 130s. Behind Ramondre Stevenson, guys like that. Like I think that's incorrect. If anyone's
Yeah, we got him
buying,
in that draft I held my brother with. I think we got him in like the 12th round. It was a
yeah.
12-team league. So, like,
If
yeah.
anyone is fading Brees out there, like you better be walking out with Braylon Allen in every single draft. Like
Or at least Isaiah Davis in the last round. I guess
yeah,
depending on how deep of a league it is, but he's kind of sneaky as well.
yeah. I think though, like I mean, the reason why someone wouldn't believe in Brees Hall is literally it's Braylon Allen at this point. It's what they think that he's gonna get. I think you should come out with him 100% of the time. They just take him ahead of ADP. He would be so
But Isaiah Davis, I
undervalued.
think, is a factor in of why
For
people are
sure.
lower on Brees because, like, he was being used in like third down and 2 minute stuff in the preseason, and so it's kind of like Braylon Allen's getting like squeezed both ways. It's like he could lose some of his pass catching role to Isaiah Davis. He could lose some of his between the tackles and maybe even short yardage goal line stuff to Braylon Allen. And then it's like, yeah, is he just sort of this like guy who's just completely relying on big plays, who's only getting like a dozen touches a game or something like that? I mean, who
Yeah,
knows?
yeah. I mean, I'm not. I know the preseason stuff was there. I'm not like concerned at all about Isaiah. I mean, look, 3 running backs all the time get on the field, like, Ty Johnson for the Bills and stuff. But he's a specialist, so,
Yeah, but
um,
see, that's exactly it. Like, I think it was Theo that said this
yeah,
from Dynasty Points. He was like, basically, Brees Hall could be James Cook
yeah.
only on a crappy offense. So it's like
Oh yeah,
when you
hundred
put it
percent.
that way, it doesn't sound all that appealing.
Yeah, I think the big difference though is Ty Johnson's what like 27. I mean, he's been around the league for a long time. He's gained that trust where it's like Isaiah Davis is basically just like 23-year-old like
Yeah.
second year Ty Johnson probably at this point. I would think it would be insane if he was stealing like anything notable from Brees Hall while he's healthy.
But even if
Um,
it's just like occasionally, even if it's only during 2 minute drills, even if it's just breather here or there, between him and Braylon Allen, it could
if
kind of add up. So I
if
I
they're
do
doing
think
that, like Brees Hall is not on the team to be completely honest. Like he's not finishing the
I
year.
hope so. I mean, I hope they trade him because it definitely feels like Brees Hall is too talented to even be like dealing with this nonsense that we're talking about.
Yeah, if Isaiah Davis is stealing work like actual anything notable, it's he's not on the team. I mean, Brees Hall is not going to be on this team next year. It's basically like set in stone at this point,
Yeah.
regardless of how
I
good he
mean,
does.
do you think Braylon Allen and maybe even Isaiah Davis are kind of sneaky buys in Dynasty right now, just for the possibility of a trade or bigger role or injury or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what like how to acquire. I won't know what Braylon Allen is now. I bet you can get really creative with Braylon Allen
Yeah.
trades.
Hey, how about like Jalen Wright and a second for Braylon Allen and a third?
Basically, add Jalen Wright to like
Yeah,
any
exactly. That's
guys
that's
like
the
that.
answer.
Just make it'll at least look like something.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I'm getting similar
Trade
kind of running back bet
trade
back.
what you would for a player, but like just won't be enough, and add Jalen Wright.
Yeah.
So I
If
mean,
that can get you over the top. Like
yeah,
last year was like Jaleel McLaughlin that we were like, he was
I
the
mean
guy on
he
the
had
roster
both.
that we co-managed that like
Yeah.
he was just getting like put into every trade. It's just that like little extra piece to try to put it over the top.
Hopefully he's not Jaleel McLaughlin. We couldn't trade him. We never did. We
Yeah.
ended up like cutting him, I think. Or
I think we did end up cutting him. Yeah.
so I mean, hopefully he's not like that. But
Yeah, hopefully he has a little more trade value than that, but at this
yeah,
point it might not be a ton more.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, I really okay. Here's the thing. There's Isaiah Likely type player out there. I think like Braylon Allen's the Isaiah Likely of running backs, but like just like actually like an attainable price probably still. So like I would rather have Braylon Allen than I would like an Isaiah Likely at price. You know what I mean? They're the same exact bet, except like Braylon Allen's like path is like so much more clear for like this season without an injury. Again, there's like a trade, or he could just be like really, really like startable if the
Yeah.
reports are true.
Yeah, and it sounds like you're willing to pay like your contenders mid to late second next year, plus some kind of throw in to get Braylon Allen. Am I correct?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, at this point, like that's the thing though, right? I mean, I say, yeah, that's the price you would need to pay. There are teams where I might think it's a worthwhile investment, but all the time with seconds, I'm always careful at least where I'm setting them. It's the same thing with like Green Beans, like trade for JCM.
Yeah.
After like thinking it through, like I think that's a really good trade to get, especially to get the fourth back. The thing about that with like a player like JCM or Braylon Allen, I'm at least careful because there's other things that you can do with that second.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of players like Braylon Allen, JCM. I mean, you can go down to Ollie Gordon, guys like that. That could be just cheaper versions. So I'm always at least a little bit careful of like what I'm doing. I'm not just like going in every league and like spamming out, oh, second for Braylon Allen, second for JCM. I mean, it might be a good idea. I'm just being careful with that. I'm not just like,
Yeah, because a second you can do a lot with, especially in season. It's really nice buying power to have in season. So yeah, I don't want to just like throw them around, but if it makes sense for your team, it's certainly something I'd consider.
yeah, I'll actually say like I don't make trades like that like really ever. Like where I'm setting a second away for a player that's just not scoring points. Again, JCM is actually projected to score points, so that's kind of why
I
it's a
mean, Braylon Allen, I mean, he was like crushing it early last season, even with a
yeah.
healthy Breeze. What if his role's even bigger than that now, or what if it's
No,
that
yeah, I mean
role
that's what I mean. Like that's
plus?
why he's
I
worth
mean,
that.
I mean, is it at least in the range of outcomes that he's putting up like maybe like a poor man's David Montgomery kind of numbers on a weekly basis, even with a healthy Breeze?
Well, that's why he'd be worth a second.
Yeah.
You're not getting him without a second, so I mean that's already factored into his price. So
I know, but you're just saying like he's not scoring points, but like,
yeah.
are we sure about that? Like he might be. I mean,
But
obviously
well, that's
that's
what I mean. Like, but I'm also saying like, are we sure he's actually scoring points that are even matter?
it's a
For
bit of a
us, right?
gamble. It's kind of like a
I would
yeah,
rather
a
send
bit
that
risky.
second and something on top to literally get David Montgomery. I think is the point. Like that's what I save my seconds for is to try to get deals like that done.
Yeah,
Whereas like I'm trying to send a third and Jalen Wright and whatever else I need
yeah,
to get Brown
that
Allen
feels better.
because you can't get David Montgomery for that. There's no chance you can do that.
Because like in season, if you're willing to pay a second and a throw in, you can get someone that you know is crushing and like scoring points, even if they're
Yeah,
older. But like yeah, maybe you're able to get James Conner for a second,
yeah.
where you know he's crushing
You're
it.
not.
Versus like Braylon Allen, maybe it's kind of an unnecessary risk right now. So
Yeah.
I do see what you're saying for sure.
Here's something that I should probably mention, and this is just like I don't know. I don't really think about this like consciously, but I am at the moment, so I should at least repeat it. But like that's how I'm always like looking at players. Like I almost have these like at the depending on the day or the time period, like wherever they're ranked in the world in my mind. There's different players like in like tiers where like you could argue that like Braylon Allen's worth the same as James Conner. There's a clear difference though. James Conner, like the owner of him, is not going to be willing to give him up if they're using him at all, because he's going to be scoring points, and as long as he's healthy, that's why you're trying to trade for him. So like that's what I'm willing to set a second for is a player like James Conner, but like Braylon Allen, there's going to be so many different ways to get him if he's not like in their starting lineup every week. And the point of that is like maybe you have like Keenan Allen who's just like actually usable week one,
Yeah.
and you have a third, and you can send Keenan Allen or a player like that and a third, or maybe it's another similar handcuff that comes out of nowhere. I mean, maybe it's like Condre Miller in a third. If we see that Condre Miller is doing what we kind of expect Braylon Allen to do right now,
Yeah.
there's a lot of different scenarios of how you can get that Braylon Allen type player. Where James Conner, you're not sending Jalen Wright and Condre Miller in a third for him when they're healthy. Make sense?
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
So,
I mean, you like to get the sure thing if you're gonna throw a second around.
and there's no guarantee that Braylon Allen is gonna like actually be putting up like monster numbers is like the big thing, right? So what if he goes out there and gets decent workload, but he scores 7 points, 4 points, 11 points, 9? Like he's just kind of floating around that area. I mean, like his value, people might not be willing like at that point. They might be willing to take that third and something else. Like they might be begging for that if they just are a little bit disappointed, right? I mean, the expectations are sky high right now for Braylon Allen. So that's just how that works in my mind. Versus like productive veterans versus these ascending players that we're a little unsure of what they're to do this year.
I think we've been going like about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes at this point. Do we want to wrap it up, call it a night here pretty soon? Is there anything else you want to talk about before we call it a night?
I would just say that I like the trade that Green Bean did, and that's something I'd never really heard talked about at all. Is I would just say if you're in negotiations, again, I've mentioned why like you want to keep a second because a second can like get you productive players, whereas like thirds really can't get you productive players that are not like 33 years old.
Mhm.
But let's just say you have a bunch of picks in the bank and you have a bunch of options. Like I would much rather send a second for JCM plus a fourth than just sending 2/3. Even if you think like sending 2/3 is a cheaper price, just because 2/3, like if you're playing again Dynasty where like you might actually end up making those picks, like 2/3 is just like, I mean we're seeing it every single offseason. 2/3 is better than 1 second right now, as long as it's not like the first second of the year. It might not be a trade that like you're making all the time, but honestly, like if you're on the draft board, like I'm probably gonna like consider that in future drafts. Is like if I have a mid second, like I'm probably gonna be pretty willing to like send it depending on what players on the board.
I mean, this past rookie draft, it did kind of feel like that, where there wasn't like as huge.
And,
I don't know. Like
no,
here's
at the
actually
time,
here's
it
the
doesn't
weird thing
think
about
at the
it.
time it does.
At the time, it felt like a big tear drop off after that
Yeah.
like late second. But now looking back on it, we see all these like already what feel like kind of like little hits from the third round, fourth round, even off of waivers after the draft. And now when we're looking back on it, it feels like this like big tier almost, where there's just like this gradual fall off from
Yeah.
like early second to like late fourth. I mean, again, go back and watch your last stream. The second half of it, we do a rookie draft, an updated one, and yeah, it didn't feel like as big of a difference as it did in the past. And I guess it's easy to say now. It's hard. It was harder to say that at the time because it definitely didn't feel that way. So I don't know. It's kind of hard to know how to look at it properly now.
At the time, that's why everyone would keep a mid second over like two random thirds, or whatever.
Yeah.
But again, when you use probability through all these, you're gonna know that the 2/3 are just a better odds of hitting. But there is a
just take a
downside.
shot.
But there is a downside that you have to use a roster spot, of course. If so, as long as that's not.
Yeah, but again, that's if you're actually making the picks. If you're not, if you're planning on using the pick as buying power in season, then of course the second is going to be so much more powerful in terms of what it can buy you.
Exactly. I think the only time I'm really making that deal, like a deal like that with the second into the 2/3, is like actually when I'm like ready on the clock. Because if you do that preseason, by the way, like hitting on the 301's cool, but it's like not that big of a win. But hitting on the 201, like that's a massive win. So, I mean that's always one scary thing about like when people are talking about sending a second plus for a first. Like you cannot convince me that like the first side is like bad, even if it ends up losing in the future,
right?
Because there's just like, I mean, it is always a possibility it's gonna end up as an early, even though like the most overpowered teams end up as a mid first, potentially better on depending on when the injuries happen. So the first is just
weird things happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also green bean added. I was willing to do it because I had 2 seconds and still have 2 firsts. Yeah, that makes sense. So you still have the 2 seconds that you can use for buying power in season if you need it, or if you end up keeping the picks and making them next off season. So I think that makes a lot of sense. If you had 3 seconds, I'm definitely willing to move one of those 3 for JCM and even getting a 4th kickback.
That's really important to add as well because when I have 1 second left, I'm like that's when I get really sketched of what I was mentioning.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you gotta clean it out a little harder when you only have 1 of them.
But when you have 3 of them, 4 of them, like sometimes we do, now I feel so much better, and I can send my hopefully my worst one for it. So I think that's really important. But that's a conversation I never hear anyone talking about picks, and that just in general, in Green Bean's, situation here, I actually really like that deal to do that rather than sending the multiple picks in a vacuum. But again. We talked about what you can do a second. So, I'm interested to see, maybe keep track of that this year of some of these players that are worth a second right now that you need to acquire for a second plus.
Mm-hmm.
And just see how the season rolls out for them. Because we can kind of look back at that last year with guys like Jalen Wright. I mean, I sent a second and like Audric Estime, who was like worth the third for Jalen Wright last year. There's going to be other players as well. I just want to keep track of how that kind of goes this season for those players in that category. And see if there's anything to learn about that going into future seasons.
Yeah. Well, really interesting discussion. And I think we'll probably call it a night there. But anyone that wants to participate in our film club, watch Vanilla Sky before Wednesday evening. That's probably when we will discuss it on our Wednesday stream. We'll do a review toward the end of it after we're done talking Dynasty and football and everything like that. So yeah, check out Vanilla Sky if you want to be part of that. And yeah, thanks everyone for joining us. Great to have Green Bean back. Good to see, it was really good to see you again. Hope to see you on some more streams. And yeah, maybe we'll even get you on. He did say earlier, I don't think we read it, but he said maybe one of these days, in terms of coming onto the stream. So yeah, we would love that. Definitely hit us up on Sleeper. You have our usernames there, so feel free to send us a message. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining us. Definitely like the stream, subscribe if you haven't already. We really appreciate it. Helps us a lot. And hit the notification bell if you want to be alerted anytime we go live so that you don't miss a stream. And yeah, we will be back on probably Wednesday evening. I don't think we have anything. I don't know. I'd have to pull up like my calendar. I was trying to.
You know what? I just remembered something. I have my home league draft.
Yeah.
There's like no way I'm gonna be able to stream Wednesday.
Yeah, and I'm helping my brother with an auction draft that evening, beginning at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. So yeah, we'll probably have to do Thursday next week, I'm thinking, or what do you think, Blake?
I mean, we could try for Tuesday.
Okay.
If that doesn't work, our backup will be Thursday.
Okay.
Wednesday, there's like no chance. I'm like going to the gym with a buddy that I'm gonna draft with for the home league, so like I'm not gonna be home all day.
Okay, so yeah, we won't be streaming on our normal day of Wednesday. Yeah. We'll probably either do it. If we do it Tuesday, though, we probably won't discuss Vanilla Sky because we already told everyone to watch it by Wednesday, so we don't want to do it a day early probably. But yeah, we'll either stream Tuesday or Thursday. So yeah, all the more reason to hit the notification bell. But yeah, we'll probably review Vanilla Sky. The next stream we do after Wednesday, whenever that ends up being. So that'd probably be either Thursday or Sunday. So anyways, yeah, hit the notification bell. You'll know when we go live. Appreciate everyone joining us here, and yeah.